Hey guys, Silver here, and this is my deck profile for windups. I know Carriers MIT has been hit to 1 for a while now, and I'm just making a deck profile to show you that windups are still playable. Um, with this deck, it's possible to discard 2 cards of your opponent's hand, maybe 3. I've done it a lot, but this deck is mainly based on swarming the field for XYZ monsters, and yeah. Anyway, let's just start. Double Vader, mainly because it's quite a good card. It's a tuner as well. I only want to run one synchro. Yeah, I just run one synchro. I love Justice Catasto, just because he's good against a lot of decks really. Yeah. 2 Vaders are quite good for negating opponent's effects. Because there's a lot of effect, like Atlanteans, Mermaids, you need to negate these, Chaos Dragons. Yeah. Double Vela is quite enough. I wouldn't run 3. It will make the deck too slow because you will draw Velas instead of your other monsters. Gun to search out your tour guides, your honeybees, your windups really, etc. Tour guide. If you draw a tour guide and a Foolish Burial, then you've got a game really, because you can go into windup Chaos MIT, use Burial to send your Hunter to the graveyards, use Zemati's effect to summon Rat, and then use Rat's effect to summon Hunter, and carries on. You keep discarding cards from your opponent's hand, and yeah. And if you've got Monster Reborn called the Haunted, face down, it's even better. Around 2 honeybees, not a lot of people run this card, but this card is actually quite good. First off, you can set out the defense, so your left ones don't get hit, and when it gets destroyed, you can summon a Magician, a wind-up rat, a wind-up rabbit, a shark, and the next one you could use them for XYZ. 3 magicians, because in this deck 3 magicians and 3 sharks are. If you draw 1 magician, 1 shark, it is the main purpose, and you can swarm so easily with this. 2 rabbits, just because you can use their effects straight away anytime, and they're also freestyle, which helps you do XYZ into your Carriers MITs, Zem mains, your rank 3s really. And 3 rabbits to revive your windups and then use them for XYZ into your Daigusto Emerald. I'm gonna talk about him later. Yeah. 3 shark, just because you can summon it at any point when you summon it, a windup monster, and you can increase his level or decrease his level. Yeah, and you can XYZ into a rank 3 or a rank 5 or even a rank 4. Windup Soldier, not many people run this card, but I really love this card because you can summon a Windup Soldier from your deck when you use Magician's effect instead of a shark, to make it 5 to not waste your shark, or if all of your other sharks in the graveyard, you can summon a soldier instead. Yeah. Dark Hole, Staple, takes out opponent's monsters, Chaos Dragons, stop swarming. It just takes out monsters which you cannot take out with your monsters really. Foolish Burial, just to get your hunters to the graveyard, or even your sharks or magicians. Heavy Storm to be safe, because you need to be safe a lot since you swarm a lot in windups. Whenever you have the chance to take out your opponent's fun shark cards, you should always take them out. Monster Reborn to revive your monsters in XYZ again. Yeah. 2 Mystical Space Typhoons, because they're fast. You could use them anytime. You can set them, and you can scare your opponent with them as well, and you can just take out some shark cards. You could run 1 Night Beam as well, but it's up to you guys. For me, 1 Heavy Storm and 2 Mystical Space Typhoons are enough. 3 Windup Factory is alright as well, because when you use a Magician effect or a Shark's effect, you can search and just loop or swarm the field. And 2 Call of the Haunted, because you can revive your windups and just use them for XYZing, or even you revive magicians, or even if you want, just go for game by reviving XYZ monsters. 2 Composing Evacuation Device. I run this card in most of my decks because it just takes out monsters which are hard for you to take out, like Tyrus, Zenmain, Stardust, Shooting Star, etc. Solemn Judgment and the Solemn Warnings. I run these because they become useful when you have both like a Solemn Judgment and a Solemn Warning phase down. Solemn Judgment you can negate effect, you can negate summons and spawn sharp cards. So it's quite useful. You pay half your life points, but in this deck you can make comebacks easily. 2 Solemn Warnings just to negate summons and because it keeps your other monsters safe. 2 Torrential Tributes because it stops Chaos Dragons, it stops many cards from swarming. I only run 1 Zenmike because firstly I really need these traps because they're useful, and secondly it's quite useful, but I don't really need 2. The effect is here because not that many people use it, so I'll tell you the effect. Target 1 face up level 4 or lower wind up monster you control. Return that target to the hand, no matter its level. Then spread summon 1 wind up monster from your hand with the same level as the return monster. Yeah, so basically you could use it in your opponent's turn or even your turn. And you can also use it on Shark to summon a monster and summon Shark again. Yeah. For my extra deck I've got I Love Justice Catastor. He just beats a lot of monsters which are not dark attribute, and yeah. Adrius, Keeper of Armageddon, he's good for taking out monsters using his effect and then attacking for game, yeah. Now Daigusto Emerald, I'm gonna come back to him in the end. Gem Knight Pearl, just the high BR and 2600 attack is quite good for round 4. Maestro, the Symphony Daijin, is quite good since he's a Book of Moon, he's a staple and he stops your life points from decreasing and he defends you as well. Number 17, Leviathan Dragon. Yeah, Leviathan Dragon, I just use him in certain points inside the duel because he's 2500, you can take over monsters which you may not want to summon Acid Golem because you don't want to lose life points. You can summon him, you can beat over monsters with 2400 or less. Acid Golem, just summon him when you want to go for game, or he's got 3000 attack, 3000 defense, you should run him. Utopia and Chaos Utopia. Firstly, in this deck you should try to find 1 space for mind control. You could remove Zenmike. Firstly, Utopia would do good since you can negate attacks from your opponent monsters, and then you could just when you have no attachments you can overlay it with Utopia Ray. Utopia can also, if you want to use your wind up carrier Zenmite for 1 more turn, you can block attackers going into your Zenmite and then use them in your next turn. Chaos Utopia Ray, mainly because you could just overlay it when Utopia has no attachments, and it comes useful when you have low life points. Black Shape of Corn, this is because Zenmains, you can beat over Zenmains. Photon Papillo Operative. I run this because firstly it's quite useful when your opponent's trying to defend with monsters when his life points are low and he's just trying to defend. So you can just use it and take your opponent's life points easily. Tyrus, Keeper of the Genesis, obvious reasons, it's a rank 5, easily summoned in wind-ups, 2600 BR, and it just pops a card at the end of the battlefield if it attacks. Wind-up Arsenals and My Hole. Not a lot of people run this card, but I see this card actually quite useful because it says 2 set cards, so you can target face down monsters your opponent sets, like rare cards, you may not want to attack them. Yeah. Carriers are mighty, obvious reasons, you storm the field, summon your monsters, and Zenmains just because you want to defend. Now, Daigusto Emerald, this card's quite useful in this deck because you reuse your Zenmite, you can send them back to the extra deck, draw 1 more card on top of it, and then storm the field again. So, but you need to have a good hand or a medium hand to use this. So I suggest you run him, and I suggest you use him in duels because he's quite good. Like it states here, 2 level 4 monsters. Once per turn you can detach 1 XYZ material monster from this card to activate one of these effects. Target 3 monsters in your graveyard, shuffle all targets into the deck, then draw 1 card. And here's the effect you mainly want to use. And the second effect, you don't really use in this. Target one effect monster in your graveyard space on the target, you wouldn't use this. He's got 1800 attack, which is alright, but it's kind of bad for rank 4. But I just mainly use him for his first effect. So yeah, guys, this was Wind-Up's deck profile for this format. And sorry I'm late, couldn't make a lot of videos, but I'm starting to make more videos. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and rate.